I live a life of explanations, constantly asked to answer for myself. How do I sing so high? How do I spell my name? How's my hair so curly? How is that my mom? As if I have to prove to the world that I am a part of my family. The truth of my existence is never simply accepted. My teachers always taught me to support my claims with evidence. My life is an argumentative essay with a thesis statement of I belong. I'm constantly the focal point of judging glares and confused stares, as if staring long enough at me with my white family will suddenly reveal all the answers, as if my presence with them will somehow be validated. As if the more they stare, the more my skin will appear fair and the curls will straighten out of my hair and I will look like I belong there. Maybe then society will let me be, set me free, let me live peacefully. Maybe then I'll feel accepted. But this will never be the case because no matter how long you stare at my face and try to figure out my race, you will never have the power to erase the melanin from my skin, all those years of never fitting in, always too black or too white. How can I win? When I am everything and nothing at the same time. I am an unclaimed bag left on an airport conveyor belt, spinning around and around, knowing I will never be found. I carry so much baggage, but no one's there when I finally touch the ground. I try to scream out, but I'm unable to utter a sound. I live a double life, always watching my back, trying to make up for the half of me I always seem to lack. I can never afford to miss a beat. The fear of slipping, tripping, falling, failing runs through my brain on repeat, never able to put my outward appearance in the back seat, because that is all society can see. So take a long look at me. Hit me with your questions, I'm ready. Watch me try to explain how I exist while you keep adding to the list of questions I've come to learn I can't resist. You'll pry until you've finally satisfied that hunger inside, the desire you make no effort to hide. The desire to comprehend how my white cousin is my cousin and not my boyfriend, how I am the product of an interracial love with the power to transcend society's judgment, disapproval, and our country's original intent. How I can look the way I do when half of me is the same as you. But I guess this concept is just too complex, so after you no longer feel so perplexed, I'll just move right along to the next, who asks me for an explanation. I live a life of explanations.
Good morning, everyone. Today I will be talking about the talk. The talk is a moment shared with a Black or brown kid and a parental figure. A conversation that is crucial in navigating the how, who, when, and where when dealing with the police in America. I'm talking about the what to do if you're pulled over talk. I recently had my 16th birthday, so I got my permit, and I will hopefully be driving this June. The next step after getting your permit, specifically in Black households, is this talk. Now, every 16-year-old child doesn't go through this, but it's widely directed towards Black and brown kids living in America. Generally, when someone is on their way to getting their license, they think about, oh my gosh, what happens if I get pulled over? And this question is usually about how to get out of a ticket, or the embarrassment of shaking hands, or oh my gosh, what happens if I don't pull over correctly and go into the guardrail? These are all valid concerns, and I would definitely be embarrassed if you couldn't talk to the police officer and pull down your window. For me, every time I see a police car while driving, I think of my cousin, or my aunt, or another family member that has a testimony that supports the reason for the talk. This is such a relevant topic because it's so close to my family. So that means it could happen to me too. Life or death. Several stories are used as evidence that I'm not being dramatic. And I definitely wish I was. I just said life or death when I'm driving. But just driving to several million people is a risk that they take just to get from point A to point B. My mom sat me down and explained to me what to do. She said, no sudden movements, pull over calmly, turn down any and all music, put your hands on the steering wheel. My mom sat me down and explained how to conduct myself under this high-pressure situation. She said, be respectful by saying sir, ma'am, or officer. Smile to seem less threatening, but don't overdo it because that's also threatening. Be clear and concise with wording. Do not give them a reason. Be vocal in any and all movements. And lastly, she said, of course, do not use that smart mouth of yours. This is the difference between just coming home with a ticket or not coming home at all. Be aware of your surroundings. Police brutality is a very real problem. It's not far out. No, it's right here, right next to me, you, and us. All because my complexion is different. My physical features are different. My name is different. My appearance has such an effect on my life that I have to consider which stores to go into, which roads to take, and which area I cannot go into, just to avoid being targeted, profiled, or hunted. And I just want to be seen as me, not another number, stat, or case, just as me. Thank you.
I am a Black woman. Yes, it is very true. What are you? When people look at my skin, they stare, but I know that I should not care. I am a Black woman who is expressive and not afraid to share. I am a Black woman, and I don't mind. People think I'm rude, not kind. If you look past my skin color, what do you find? I am a Black woman, and I am proud. I am not afraid to use my voice and have to be loud. I am a Black woman because I've been told I'm too tough, too rough, too harsh, too rude to ever be enough. I am a Black woman because I was born with a curse, to be a color thought to be the worst. I'm called white when it comes to mannerisms and the way I talk, but Black when I am a victim of racism. I am a Black woman because I was raised in a society that hates my kind. They hate my complexion and my confidence, yet they're the exact same ones who always preach diversity. I am a Black woman because I was taught to hate myself, because all the guys wouldn't ever date Black girls, and they continue to go on and choose everybody else. I am a Black woman, hear my voice.
So first, we would like to start with a little talk about what microaggressions are. A microaggression is a comment or action that often unconsciously or unintentionally expresses a prejudiced attitude toward a member of a marginalized group, specifically BIPOC individuals. Microaggressions are cumulative, and any one offense or put down may represent the straw that breaks the camel's back. And so before we get into our little microaggression skits, I just wanted to say a quick disclaimer that despite the excellent representation and acting of microaggressions in real life, the teachers and students in the following videos are actors, and these videos in no way demonstrate their character or opinions, and their participation is for our educational benefit. This skit is acting, and because of that, the fact that it is pretty funny at times, feel free to laugh, but we do want to mention that the content of these videos and the events that transpire are very real and occur in real life. So although it may be funny in the video seeing people that you know sort of act out these actions, it's not funny when it really happens. And with each microaggression, we will provide an alternate way of responding or acknowledging the things that you may be curious about in a way that will not offend, violate, or make the person you are interacting with uncomfortable.
not me. It must be they have to meet for diagnosis. So how?
Do they really think I just got in because I'm Black? What about how hard I worked, my GPA, my extracurriculars? I got in because I'm qualified.
Being the amazing, driven person you are gets you into highly selective institutions, not just the color of your skin. Please think about how hurtful these words are and congratulate your peers for their well-deserved accomplishments.
You must be on financial aid because there's no way your parents can afford to send you here.
Why are you assuming I do not have the money just because I'm Black? Why can't people assume Black people are ever wealthy?
Although slavery continued, present discrimination have historically put Black people at a systemic economic disadvantage. We have worked so hard to be successful. Start assuming that we earned our wealth.
Okay, class, today we're going to start talking about imperialism. Sai, did you know Ethiopia is the only country in Africa not to be colonized? Wow, Sai, you're so articulate. Okay, class.
I am an educated Black individual, and people need to stop equating intelligence and articulation with whiteness.
Black people have been striving for education for centuries, and now we have the ability to openly prioritize education just as much as our white counterparts. Intelligence is not a trait of one race or another, but a result of pursuit of knowledge. It's time to broaden our scope of what intelligence looks like and recognize that Black people are well within it.
I got an A+ on my bioscience.
Oh my god, that's awesome! You're so loud and obnoxious. Why do you have to be so extra?
I got an A.
I am not extra. I have a lot to say, and I should be able to share it without judgment.
Everyone has different personalities. Please don't associate being loud with being Black. We all have different ways of expressing ourselves, and no one should be put in a box because of race. Celebrate unique personalities.
So, how long is your real hair?
Did she really just touch my hair without asking? I am not a commodity. I am a human being. So treat me like one. It's none of your business how long my real hair is.
Support Black people in whatever way they choose to wear their hair, whether it be natural, straight, in braids, or any other protective hairstyle. Don't be afraid to give compliments like, your hair looks amazing, and so on, but please don't touch our hair without permission.
We walk
Why do they always assume a group of Black men are up to no good? Why can't we celebrate without people perceiving us in a negative light?
Please don't stereotype and assume Black excitement is dangerous. We should be able to celebrate without fear of it being taken or perceived that way. Instead, either support their celebration or respectfully mind your business.
Hi, so my name is Alana, and I'm going to be sharing the story on how I got profiled. So, as a racially mixed girl, I've lived a life of hurt and acceptance. Growing up with my African-American grandparents and at the same time being lighter than my dad, I was always questioned. I was either too Black to be white or too white to be Black. I felt labeled. At first, I would just say I'm mixed, or I'd say it doesn't matter. But one day, I knew exactly what I was. So I went to a theme park with my big sister, my little brother, my sister's friend, and my sister's boyfriend at the time. We went through the entrance with flying colors and walked through the park all excited about the day. We were on our way to the first ride when we realized that security was following us. We played it off, trying to stay positive, thinking it was just their job. But then they pulled our friend, who was white, aside and asked if we were bothering her. I was in shock. I was scared, worried, and terrified. My friend responded no, after which the security guard asked if we were all together, to which she replied yes. He then said that he was just making sure because we looked like a threat. Still, then and now, I don't understand how I looked like a threat. We were wearing short sleeves, shorts, and had no bags. How is that threatening? My sister was on edge. When we left the area trying to forget what was happening, the security guard was still following us. I was confused as to why. What was different about us? Looking to my sister for answers, I started asking her what was going on, but she just silenced me until the security guard left. It was not until we were in line for a ride that she replied, "It's because we are black. We are being profiled and judged." She told us to always remain calm at all times because we've seen the news. That's when I knew the subtleties of my skin color didn't matter. It didn't matter how mixed I was. I was just as black as everyone else in that position.
This is a tale of the experiences I never thought I would have as a black woman. I never thought I would be rewarding what I was planning to say for the third time to make others feel secure. Playing a game of Scrabble against myself to get the most points for others' comfort level. I never thought I would be sitting in class when my peer randomly asked me if I even had the grades to apply to an Ivy League institution. I never thought that awkward small talk at lunch would turn into my white classmate victimizing herself because she thinks it's unfair for colleges to have diversity initiatives. I guess it never dawned on her that my educated ancestors couldn't even apply to courses they could have taught. I guess she forgot black women are the most educated demographic in the US, and the paid the least. I remember my white friend's reaction when my white mom came to pick me up from dinner on what was supposed to be a fun evening. The look of shock in her eyes was honestly unnerving. It's fine. She must have forgotten that interracial marriage is legal, and that's actually how I came to be on Earth. Interracial marriage is supposed to be normal in this country. I will never forget how I had to convince my younger sister that she didn't need to straighten her hair to be considered pretty among her kindergarten classmates. Her hair is beautiful with all its bouncy natural curls. I can't forget the feeling of everyone's eyes searing me when we briefly learned about slavery in middle school. How am I the one who feels nervous when I did nothing wrong? Just recently, I'm playing in a basketball game that's supposed to be about teamwork and working towards a common goal. I like to think winning. But it turns into me worrying about the next derogatory comment the crowd will say, or how they will react if we win the game. When the first thing people asked me was if I pulled the race card in my college essay. For those of you asking, I wrote about the life I live every day. But of course, being a black woman is also amazing. I mean, I've seen it here today. The ability to be on this stage, speaking to you now, attests to what determined black women can accomplish. I'm going to speak confidently about the things I believe in. And I'm always going to live by Michelle Obama's motto, when they go low, we go high. It's not right, but we have to be better to be considered equal. It's a privilege to be at a school that allows me to share my voice and create a safe space for others sharing similar experiences. For every time real U.S. history was glazed over in my educational years, I had a dedicated APUSH teacher who went out of her way to diversify the curriculum with primary sources and focused conversations around the real founding of this country. I have club advisors that care so much about our club's purpose that they are willing to publicly reenact microaggressions that in no way reflect the thoughtful and sensitive people they are. I will have the satisfaction of watching students in this very room learn AP African American history in the coming years, a major step in the education of our students at Moravian and the students of this country. I've had the ability to watch my fellow BSU members come to find their voice and share their experiences with you. I get to rejoice in the Black female excellence surrounding me. Beyonce receiving the most Grammy Awards in a lifetime, Rihanna having a baby, and returning for what I know is going to be the most extraordinary Super Bowl performance this weekend. Halle Bailey starring in the live-action Little Mermaid this May. I could go on and on. Black women are phenomenal. And I might be slightly biased, but it's true. To the friend who didn't have much experience with interracial marriages, I hope you realize the beauty in two cultures blending. To anyone who has ever felt uncomfortable because of the words I uttered, change is uncomfortable, and the truth feels vulnerable. To anyone that has ever thought they had to change a part of themselves to fit in, keep being your authentic self, and know the right people will find you, even if it takes time. To the classmate who asked if I even had the grades for that IB, it's cliche, but there's really no substitute for hard work. To the person that called you a derogatory name, know it only matters if you answer to it.